Hello and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your hosts. Movie Club is a show where we pick a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we are continuing our January month-long coverage of documentaries by taking a look at the LGBTQIA+ documentary, Paris is Burning. Our thoughts and more coming up on Movie Club. Released in 1990, Paris is Burning was directed by Jenny Livingston. A chronicle of New York's drag scene in the 1980s, focusing on balls, voguing, and the ambitions and dreams of those who gave the era its warmth and vitality. The film currently has a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Before we dive into our thoughts, though, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for the film. We're going to be talking about things that happen in this. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this documentary that we don't want to spoil for you because it's definitely a part of its emotional curve. So we will be discussing those. So if you don't want to see it, don't watch the video until after you've watched the movie. But stay tuned to the end of the show to find out what we're covering next week because it's our final documentary. And it's a real different turn after this.
Very different.
Alrighty, Kevin. So Paris is Burning was my pick this week, and I picked it because there was a movie I originally picked for this slot that we had both already seen. So didn't end up just picking that one, but I wanted to go ahead and pick this one just because I had watched this for the first time last year while doing some research for a documentary video for the channel that I'm still technically working on, and found this and absolutely fell in love with it. I also wrote a paper on this last semester, so I would feel that I'm in particular pretty knowledgeable about the things that happen in this movie. But obviously I have a history with it, but had you heard anything about this movie before?
I've only heard it from you, from your Letterboxd review and everything like that, because I think you said it on the stream as well when you reviewed it. So that's the only thing that I have heard from it. I didn't look up anything into it going into it as well, so I was going in kind of blind, and that's how you should watch this, I feel like, too, because don't get spoiled on what happens too.
Yeah, 100%. So we're gonna go ahead and spoil some stuff, so don't watch if you want to not be spoiled. So but let's go ahead, we'll dive right into this. So I absolutely love this documentary for a bunch of different reasons, and we can kind of talk about those, obviously, but at its very core, for me, this is a pure and complete celebration of community, of belonging, and kind of just being yourself unapologetically in a time where it is not nearly as accepted as it is today. Not that we are perfect today. We're still hopefully getting better with acceptance. But it's also...
we've come a long way since this documentary. So
yeah, exactly. And honestly, even before this, I'll be straight and open with you. I'm a member of... I'm not straight. But I'm a part of the LGBTQIA+ community. So, I mean, this was something I watched after having realized that, after having come out, and it was kind of like, I'm glad that I did, because it's kind of not seeing my own story here, but like the fact that I can be open about myself is nice, because a lot of these people were not able to. But I forget where exactly I was going with this. But I just think it's a beautiful movie about like a community that I didn't know anything about. That's where I was going. I never really knew anything about drag. Like, I had seen like RuPaul's stuff, and I haven't seen the show, but like I know of it, commercials for it, other drag events that go on every once in a while. I just never really knew anything about it, or voguing, or any of the ballroom kind of scene. I knew nothing about it, so I was interested to learn about it, and I think this movie does a really, really good job of kind of showing you what it was like, especially during the 80s and early 90s, because I think that, and we'll jump to you in a second here, but because I think the single, like, among many things, the best part of this is that there's no experts talking at you. This is the people, the performers who are in this community, who are beloved by their companions, sharing the stories with us directly. And it feels like an invitation into this, I don't want to say world, but into this life, into this community. And because of that, it doesn't feel Like it's not persuading you of anything. Like this
Mhm.
isn't being made to say,
No.
"Oh, we need rights and we need it now." This is like,
Mhm.
no, this is who we are, and this is what we do, and this is a place where we're actually able to do it, which
And
I
it's
think is
like,
really refreshing.
and it's kind of like what they kind of did was like, here, this is what we do like all the fashion stuff in this movie is absolutely fantastic when they have the different categories during the drag uh sequence and everything like that, with like the winter wear, the fashion wear. Oh, and I almost laughed at a couple of them where it was like straight man going to work kind of a situation, and they wear like the
And we'll talk about
suits
that
and
in a minute.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I thought that was it's so good because, um, even though they're not straight, they can not dress up, not like, dress up or anything like that, but the fashion that they had back then, it was fantastic. That's what I was looking at it and as an aspect of watching this movie. And I will say I am straight, so I support everybody whoever they love, all that jazz and everything. But watching this was not, it wasn't hard for me, but it was just different because I didn't see through like your eyes or anything like that. So
sure.
I focused on more of community and belonging to, you have like your best friends and stuff like that who support you no matter what. And that's what it really felt like when watching this, especially when you have like Pepper and everything like that being one of the house is it a queen or something like
The
that?
mother.
Yeah, mother, just supporting everybody and making sure that they just get seen by what they really are. I feel like is what this documentary is too.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of talk about how, and I actually think it's really cool that you're coming into this without the same eyes that I do, right? Because you're seeing it as it was intended to be seen. This, I mean,
Hmm.
obviously, this is going to resonate with people who are drag performers, who are LGBTQI plus, who are anything like that, right? It's going to resonate with us on a different level because it's a
Hmm.
community
Hmm.
thing. It's like, hey, I'm proud of you. But from your perspective, it's like you're able to see the community of it. You're able to see the belonging. You're able to see how these people are able to, in a world that is going to deny them who they are, you're seeing them in a place where they can be who they want to be, which I
Hmm.
think is really cool. And I'm jealous that you actually get to watch it
Well,
from that perspective. You
like
know,
saying how they want to be seen pretty much is really cool because you get to go into, I forget the person's name, but they were doing their own clothing for the drag shows
yeah,
and in the balls and stuff like that. And it's not like how you said, it's not persuading you to be like, we need this, we need that, or like pushing it down our throats. It's like, no, this is what we love to do, and you can come watch if you want, but I don't care if you do, kind of a situation. Like,
yeah,
here's an invitation, but if you don't come, I'm not going to be sad, pretty much. And
yeah,
when they do like the ballroom scenes and stuff like that, it's hilarious having the announcer be like, work it, go. I was like, oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I was laughing at that. But even with the Vogue movement was very interesting because we've heard Vogue from Madonna and stuff like that. At least I have. Um,
we'll
and
get
how
into that.
she made it a little bit more popular than, I would say, other than the people in this documentary, I feel like. And it was very interesting how it came about.
Sure, yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. And it's interesting that you bring up the Madonna thing, making it more popular, because yes, the fact would state that she made it more popular. She made voguing a lot more well known in the public conscious.
Hmm.
However, it was also cannibalized and ripped from the black and the minority communities
Hmm.
and given to whites, which is
Hmm.
another huge racial problem of obviously American culture in general, where we, you know,
Just
sinners
take.
sinners went over this beautifully, which the real vampires are not vampires. It's, you know, American culture, right? How it just kind of bleeds everything out of something that's beautiful to make it more corporate or to make it more palatable for people who are not a part of that. So it
Hmm.
is. I love that you bring that up because that is a huge part of the end of this documentary, where
Hmm.
it goes over the effects of kind of voguing on culture. But you also bring up a really good point. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was because I was focusing on the Madonna thing. Um, but it is again, it's all community. It's all these people, and I really want to highlight in particular Venus Extravaganza's story,
Yes.
which is the most emotional part of this movie. I mean, it's full of emotional parts, right? People sharing their stories and their performances. I would say some of the performances do get emotional. Like, I'm not watching someone's voguing performance crying, thinking it's the most beautiful thing in the world, but I'm more like, wow, this person is able to actually express this performance or whatever.
You're more
Beautiful.
enthralled into it, or
Yeah, enraptured, enthralled, whatever you want to call it, and
Mhm.
that's fantastic. But her story and what happens to her, like the bombshell that's dropped when it's revealed that she was murdered
Mhm.
because she was trans, which unfortunately that is still a thing that happens to this day. But like that was a like I felt like I was hit by like a ton weight from like Looney
Mhm.
Tunes or something. Like that hits you, and that's hard, because like she's probably given the one who's given the most screen time in terms of like, this is what I want to do, this is who I want to become. I
Yeah.
want to be the housewife, I want to be the model, I want to be the actress or whatever. Like she has like those goals, and then they're just completely ripped from it, and
Mhm.
it's so hard to watch, um,
Mhm.
but also just beautifully done too. Like
It is
I love her
because
interview scenes.
another thing too is her friends know like there's some bad people in the world, and even in the documentary they kind of hint at that, like, well, what if this happens? She goes, no, don't, I'm not going to worry about it, stuff like that. And then when that bombshell hits, you're like, oh man, that it actually did happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is kind of a reminder to live in the moment. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, you can't stress about what's going to happen tomorrow, but I mean, you should still be cognizant of it
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
real. That was the other thing I did want to talk about. You had talked about the like the segments of the shows, which they call executive realness, which is when they dress up in like the suits and
Oh
they
yeah.
look like corporate people, which I did an entire section on in my paper, which is really interesting, right? Because there's this entire segment of the shows, the executive realness, schoolgirl realness was the other one, right? Where these performers, these individuals, are denied those places of standing in
Hmm.
society at this time, whether it's because of race, because of sexuality, because of gender, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and so, like, those people are not going to be leaders of industry. They're not going to be CEOs. They're not going to be, Ivy League students. So
Hmm.
it's this kind of weird thing where they are performing those things partially as a critique of them, to be
Hmm.
like, hey, you won't let me in, here I am, but then also because they long to be a part of it,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
is it's so heartbreaking because it's you know you're performing it because you can't have it in real life.
Well,
And in some ways it's satire, but in some ways it's, no, I want this, and so I'm going to show off like how I would be able to do it.
it's especially back then. It's like, well, I want to be a CEO. Oh, but you can't
Mhm.
because of this reason. And it's like, well, I'll show them when I go to the drag or the ballroom how I don't want to say cool, but um how intense I look in a suit or something like that. And no one could tell if I was gay, lesbian, trans, or anything like that. If I wanted to do this, I could do it. But you're not letting me perform to my abilities, I feel like is what they really had. When they did like the not the straight stuff,
Mhm.
like the
Executive realness, the schoolgirl
yeah,
realness, those
uh-huh.
things.
Yeah, and it was just very interesting again because I'm coming in with I have no vision in this world at all. So,
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, it's a great first look at it because I think, like, or maybe not first look, but it's a great intimate look at it
mhm,
because, again, it's not trying to persuade you of anything. I mean,
mhm.
you could argue that it's trying to, like, some lesser intelligent people out there could say, oh, it's trying to make these things normal, which
But
totally fine.
nowadays they are not as normal, but they are being normalized, I feel like.
Yeah, like the fact that, like, was it my roommates and I were talking? They had an event at our local improv theater,
Mm, mhm.
which is like a stand-up place where they're doing a Wicked sing-along, but it's like a drag event. So they were gonna like watch the movie and do a sing-along, but you can, like, it would be drag performers and it would just be like a
Mhm.
brunch or whatever. is kind of hilarious. But like I love that like here in like a generally more conservative area, that the fact that we have that is really something that I love. But yeah, I think it's a great look again because I think it's because it's more of a portrait documentary. It's not trying to educate you. I mean, in the sense, like,
I mean,
these people are talking about who they are, but like
I was being educated on what was going on in the background. I feel like
you're being educated on these people's personal experiences, and that is then creating a picture for you of what it's like, which is exactly, again, portrait. It's a picture. And I think that it's brilliant because the director, Jenny Livingston, is not having any narration. She's not having any, like, there's no professor of women's studies or like, you know, LGBTQI plus studies or whatever. Like, it's just them talking about their performances because it's about the performances. It's about what they desire. It's about a community that is just routinely denied power, denied standing, denied, you know, success even, right? Which is interesting then because a lot of their performances are satirizing whiteness and then, but at the same time, desiring the power that comes with it. So it's this really interesting dynamic, and I absolutely love it for that. But it's very core. I think that this is a you know, with the exception of Venus's story, I think this is a joyous film. I think it's a very happy one. Again, it's like a celebration of community, of belonging, of the ability to be yourself, and like, you know, and you don't have to look into it as like, oh, this is my gender expression, or this is my sexual choices, or my race, right? You can look into it as like, proud to be, you know, Kevin likes the Anaheim Ducks. You could be more proud to be a Ducks fan, you know, and kind of get that part out of it. Or like, I'm a nurse, or a medical professional, not a nurse, medical professional. I'm proud to be more of a medical professional, and I'll be more proud of it. And like, because I think that it's a good thing to be proud of. And I think that a lot of people can just get that out of it.
Yeah.
To find joy in their community that they're in. If you're lucky enough to have a very loving family, or a found family, or a good circle of friends, like I think everyone can find something out of this, whether or not they're a member of the community or not.
Yeah. Even in my eyes, I found like the passion for them for fashion and stuff like that, and how they can make basically nothing out of something and show it off to their community and their friends, and them kind of like, it's like when we game, it's you pump the other person up like, oh my gosh, great kill, stuff like that. And this one is like, wow, that fashion that they just put on, or that show, was fantastic, and you can really see that throughout the whole entire documentary as well.
Yeah. Alrighty, so this was my pick this week. I mean, it should not be hard to state that I really enjoyed this movie. I think it is a powerful, fun, and beautiful documentary that kind of, it makes me proud of the things that I'm passionate for. It also makes me proud of, you know, the choices I've made in terms of coming out and accepting who I am. You know, it's important to live how you want, to love how and who you want, and express how you want. And I think that this movie is, I would say, near essential for kind of fostering empathy and just kind of recognizing other people's struggles and what they're going through, and trying to, maybe you don't have those same struggles, maybe you can't even connect with the struggles, but you can at least see what they're going through and respect them as better human beings because of it. So for me personally, I think it's been a while since we've had one of these. I gave this movie a perfect 100. I love every single minute of this. Also, forgot to mention, it's paced incredibly well.
Yes.
Like, it's only like 78 minutes. It's perfectly length. They're perfectly, you know, divvied up, and it's a great length. So I love this movie. It's one that I own. I literally bought it when I was doing my paper because I was like, I just need to have this movie because it's one that I feel like I could show anyone, and I think they would get something out of, whether or not they know anything about it or not. So I gave it 100. It's 5 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd. What did you think, Gil?
Nice. I really enjoyed this movie, about the community, the fashion aspect of it, and just being yourself with the people that surround you with. Unfortunately, back in the day, it wasn't as normalized as it is now, and it can still be more normalized to this day. I feel
and
like
arguably more under threat than ever.
Yeah. But I just wanted takeaway from this movie, I just want just surround you with people that you enjoy yourself with, and not the toxicity of some other people. Because yes, there are some toxicity people out there, but once you find your niche or your friends, stick with them, because they're going to tell you the truth and not the other people. And that's what I feel like this documentary is about too, is just having your people surrounded by you. You're doing the right thing, I feel like. And I really enjoyed it. Again, the community, the fashion aspect of it, and just everybody just being themselves in this is fantastic. So I didn't really score it yet, but I'm going to score it right now. So it's going to be a 91 out of 100. It's still really good. And but it just didn't hit me as hard as it did for you, because I'm not a part of that community, I feel like.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Well, that is going to be it for our review of Paris is Burning. Question now falls to you. What do you think about it? Please be respectful in the comments. The minute I see anything that is in any way harmful or anything will be immediately removed. But
Mhm.
respectful of not only the content, but of each other. It's
Mhm.
not that hard.
No.
Just be better than the world wants us to be right now. But next week's documentary is our last documentary of January's documentary themed month. We'll go over next month's theme next week. But we're going to be taking a look at the supernatural true crime documentary, Beware the Slender Man, which is quite a different tone change from this. But make sure to watch it before next week so you're not spoiled. But thanks so much for watching. Of course, we have this show that goes live every single Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we also have our live stream that goes live every single Wednesday at 7:30 or 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I almost got that wrong. That's weird. We've been doing this for over a year. But thank you so much for watching. And until next time, make sure to keep those eyes on the screen.